Now, I'm very nearly a completist for Auster's work, compelled mostly by his focused investment in the lives and thinking of his characters. In these ways, Sunset Park does not disappoint. Miles and his surrounding milieu of characters are lost and, on the surface, miscreant souls with little ambition. And, like Miles, each is treated with compassion and narrative that is curious and heartfelt. We understand them, and even when we don't always admire or like their choices, we find them forgivable. In many ways, this is more credit than these people give themselves and each other. Each composes narratives of their futures, revises and omits stories of their pasts, reveals themselves to each other in pieces, and most times, this reticence and revision is what damages them most. They are silos of doubt and suffering, and for Auster's attention to them, fascinating studies of ourselves. Now, all that is said, while this was a solid read, made more so for me this time with Auster's own voice as an audio narrator, it is one of my least favorite of his titles. Unlike others, the plot or narrative action of Sunset Park is neither firmly etched and sometimes even evident. And while this is part of the topic explored here, what control do we have over our own narratives, neither did these characters learn much of significance. The end was fairly inevitable, and an event to themselves, even to themselves early on. Even for protagonist Miles, who announces a new understanding of how to live, we hardly believe him. 2, I was disappointed that the most potentially interesting character, and one whose presence propels much of the action and decisions which follow, is herself left marginal, never examined at any length. True, Auster is as far as seems possible from a Southern Cuban-American high school girl, but for all the time invested in more pretentiously living white New Yorkers, this seems a worthwhile authorial risk to offer equal time. Auster is at his narrative best, perhaps, working in the hesitancy of middle class, delays built upon uncertainty, self-doubt, loss, self-isolation, and their own idealizing. In this book, I kept looking for a little bit more, a bit more outside of merely this exposition.